Today's podcast guest, wait for it, is yours truly, Travis Sims, the networking coach. That's right. Many of you may know me as the CEO and founder for AGC Accelerated Global Connections, but I'm also the networking coach and have been networking some of the world's biggest leaders in business for the last 15 years. And in today's podcast, we're going to talk about networking in the new normal. Matter of fact, I've just written a book that will come out June 1st. Networking in the New Normal is the title of the book. So we're going to share some great words of wisdom to teach you how to network in the new normal. And we're going to talk about the 3 laws of communication, how to connect genuinely, how to connect authentically, how to continue to grow and build and develop your network in a nurturing way that's going to continue to help you get more business in the new normal. My name's Travis Sims, and I am the founder and CEO of AGC Accelerated Global Connections. And this is the AGC Experience.
Hi, friends. Are you ready to connect deeply, feel calm, and find inspiration? Dawn Bennett has been having so much fun meeting with people online and learning how she can help them grow, as well as offering complimentary EFT or tapping classes and personal sessions to clear stress and inspire people to engage with their business by clearing fears. Please head to her Touch Remedies website or call her at 651-401-6131 to register for a free online class to help you move through stress and emotional turmoil to find that inspiration. There, you can also schedule a personal meeting to connect so she can help you grow. She's looking forward to deepening your relationship. Dawn Bennett, Touch Remedies, the science and soul of deepening connection to self, others, and community.
Hello, my name's Travis Sims, and I'm the founder and CEO for AGC Accelerated Global Connections. And I wanted to take this rare opportunity to just be me. Right here on this podcast, no guest, just me. And many of you know me through AGC or Accelerated Global Connections. But did you know that I have a 15-year background in networking? That's right. I have been coaching, training, speaking, teaching some of the best business minds in the world for over 15 years, teaching other leaders how to lead. I've done this many different ways. I've been involved in multiple organizations, global organizations for networking. I've served on service club boards and organizations. I've served on chamber organizations and other organizations, including being keynote speakers, trainers, doing keynotes, all those types of things, as well as doing single one-person coaching and team coaching, group coaching, and even now a mastermind. So I'm known worldwide as the magician of networking, and I am a networking coach. That's right. I teach people how to build relationships. I teach them how to develop trust. I teach them how to connect authentically. I teach them how to foster that relationship into an opportunity to either build a friendship, to build a business relationship, to build a sales relationship, or to build a referral relationship. But it's all about relationships. But I am the networking coach, and I teach people how to do that. And there is a question that I'm getting a lot lately, and that is, Travis, it's been 2 months now, over 2 months since the pandemic hit us, and I'm having difficulty networking. I'm having difficulty connecting with others. And it's because we're all separated. Matter of fact, the government is telling us you need to isolate. They're telling you that you need to social distance. They're telling you all of these things. And if you're in small business, or if you're an entrepreneur, or you're a salesperson, you can't afford to isolate. You need to insulate yourself with a strong network. You can't afford to social distance. Now, I understand that you might need to physical distance, but you can't afford to social distance. You have to be more social now than ever. And that creates a stumbling block for a lot of people, because if you're like me, you're used to being and navigating huge rooms of people. You're shaking a lot of hands. You're greeting a ton of people. You're card exchanging. You're attending a lot of events. I mean, every single week I was at an AGC event in person with anywhere between 75, 100 people or plus every single week. And if you're an extrovert, this has probably been extremely hard for you. If you're an introvert, you might feel a little bit more at home, but right now you might be starving for business. You might be starving for relationships. You see, a lot of people woke up the moment the pandemic happened and they realized that they've been building nothing but transactional business. And the transactional business of that is that they're doing just transactions, and they're going from one transaction to the next transaction. They're always hunting. They're always hunting new business. And every time new business takes place, they move right on to the next one. And what we really need to be doing is cultivating relationships. You see, relationships take time. Where you're really trying to get to is trust. And trust takes an extreme amount of time. People don't just give it away easily. And it takes time to cultivate that trust. It takes time to build it, develop it, nurture it, and get it into a place where they're not only willing to do just transactional business with you, but they're willing to do referral business with you, continued business with you, loyal business with you, ongoing business with you, over and over and over again. And if you can create a stream of that for your business, you'll never go thirsty. You'll never go hungry. And right now, people are struggling to do that. And I wanted to take this time to address it. As the networking coach, I've just written an ebook, and it's entitled Networking in the New Normal. I know that phrase has been used a little bit, the new normal. And what is the new normal? And so today, in today's podcast, we're going to be addressing how do you network during this time? And really, what is the new normal and what to expect and how to excel at it and how to continue to build the relationships that you need. And you might be surprised by this. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of the same principles still apply. You see, the networking hasn't changed. Now, our normal might have changed. How we facilitate it might have changed. But the importance of what we're doing, the way that you do it, really hasn't changed. So let me sound this out with you, if I will. And that is that it's all about relationships. It's always been about relationships. You see, I used this just a moment ago, and this is a phrase that you're hearing often, and that is more now than ever. More now than ever. Everything I hear, every commercial on TV, every news conference that I listen to, every speaker that I hear shares that phrase, more now than ever. Guys, it's always been a need. We should have always been doing these things. It's just now many people are realizing it, and they have to kick it into fast gear to catch up to the rest of us that's known this all along. You see, I spent 15 years building networks, building relationships, and very rarely do I cash in on those relationships. You see, and I'll share with you what I mean by that is when you go into a relationship, friendship, business relationship, referral partnership, whatever it is, it's always how can I give? Number one, you're coming in with no expectations. But how can I give? How can I help? How can I benefit you in some way? See, there are a lot of organizations that not only focus on the giving, but they focus on the gain. And I'm going to say that don't worry about the gain. It'll come naturally. Focus on the giving. It's always about the giving. It's a giving mindset, you have to focus on the giving. How can I help you? What is it you need? Who can I connect you to? What referrals are you looking for? What is your target market? Who's in my Rolodex? Who's in my LinkedIn? Who's in my Facebook connections? Who's in my AGC connections that I can connect you to, that I can make an introduction on your behalf? You see, when you start out a relationship and a business relationship, you're going to stand out when you come at it from a giving mindset. Because in most networking situations, people are coming to, how can I sell you? How can I sell you? What can I sell you? What do you need to buy from me? The problem is no one wants to be sold to. Now, I don't mind helping people buy because people love to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. So you have to nurture the relationship, and it starts with giving. People will remember you because you have a giving mindset, that you thought of them before you thought of yourself, and you did it genuinely, and you did it authentically with no future gain in mind. And you might be saying, well, Travis, I need to do business. Travis, I've got business that I've got to do. I've got transactions that I have to hit. I get it. But you're starting a pipeline of future business. And it is a tortoise and hare type of race. The hare runs around doing all these little transactions, tries to get the transaction, tries to do the sale, and gets wore out and tired and never makes it. But the tortoise just keeps on going, says, how can I help you? How can I give to you? How can I share to you? And they keep on trucking. They're steady. They're focused. They're helping. They're sharing. And at the end of the race, the tortoise gets there and has an abundance of what they need, because all those people that they've been helping is now standing at the finish line, ready to help them back. I don't know about you, but I want a crowd of people cheering me on at the end of the finish line. And so in the new normal, networking in the new normal, it's still the same. You've got to start the relationship with a giving mindset. You've got to go into it with no gain in mind. You have to go into the relationship with, how can I help you? Start there, number one. Number two, it's, how are you connecting to them? Now, this is a part of the new normal, because previously we connected in huge rooms. We attended lots of events. We attended lots of meetings. I said this the other day, and I'm going to say it here, and that is that you can cancel an event. The NBA was canceled because their events. Concerts all across the world were canceled because their events. There were meetings all over the world canceled because they were just meetings. You can't cancel a community. You just can't do it. You cannot cancel a community. You see, a community, AGC, Accelerated Global Connections, is a community network with a global impact. And you can't cancel a community. You see, a community of people, when there is difficulty, they team together. They circle the wagons and they say, what is our approach? How are we going to help one another? How can I help you? How can I help you? What do you need? You're checking in on your neighbors to see, do you have enough bread? Do you have enough milk? Do you have enough of this? Are you warm? Do you have a roof over your head? How can I help? Are you getting enough business? Who can I introduce you to? What kind of connections can I make on your behalf? What type of referrals are you looking for? That's how a community operates. I'm proud of AGC. I'm proud of Accelerated Global Connections and the 400 plus members that we created in the Minneapolis Twin Cities alone, and how we're continuing to grow and expand now across the country and across the world, and how our AGC talks and our podcasts are reaching people all over the country and all over the world. We're continuing to grow and expand our ground even during a worldwide pandemic. And it's because you can cancel an event, you can cancel a meeting, but you can't cancel a community. So what is the future of networking and networking in the new normal? I mean, if we're not able to attend face-to-face events, and we're about, depending on when you're listening to this, we're right now in this moment, as I'm recording this podcast, we're just a little over 2 months in. Many states across the US are beginning to open with restrictions. They're doing soft opens. Some states are well ahead of others, and some are doing it more cautiously. But there's a theme, and the theme is no big crowds, no huge events. We're not yet seeing concerts open up. We're not yet seeing ball games open up with stadiums full of people. And what about networking events? So I'm in touch with a lot of world leaders in the world of networking, with global organizations in all types of fields, service clubs, chambers, closed networks, open networks. I've benefited from having lots of relationships in multitude styles of networking. I'm in touch with other world leaders, and no one's ready to go back to full rooms yet. Everyone's doing it with caution. How do you protect your members? How do you protect their health? How do you protect their businesses? And I get it, because, small business must march on, right? We must continue to do business. We have to be able to network and build our networks and continue to grow our business. We must be able to do that in order to succeed. And by the way, creating a network is the fastest way to do that. That team mentality, you can together, everyone achieves more. I'll say it again. Team, together, everyone achieves more. It's more about teamwork than it is alone work. You can accomplish way more, way faster, with huger results because of it. So how do you continue to connect authentically with genuine? How do you create your network? Tap into the networks that you have? You have to use technology. I know you're probably by now, if you're listening to this, if you're watching it, no matter where you are in the country, no matter where you are in the world, you're going, Travis, I've got Zoom fatigue. I get it. I'm on multiple Zoom conference meetings every single day. Every day of this pandemic, every weekday, every business day, I've got up, shaved, showered. Well, first I worked out. After my workout, I shaved, I showered, I put on my jacket, I put on my button-up shirt, and I went to work. And I continued to grow my business, creating content, writing a book, creating videos, podcasts, new development ideas, meeting with my teams, meeting with my members, continually doing business. And it's what it's going to take. If you haven't been doing that, it is time right now to get up off the couch and get back in front of your computer screen. If you're experiencing Zoom fatigue like I have been, because you are a social person, you prefer to meet in person, keep marching on. Keep going straight ahead. Stay focused. You got this. You can do this. It's worth the time. It's worth the effort. It's not the time to slow down. It's the time to speed up. It's not the time to give up. It's the time to show up and create the relationships and the network that you want to create. That's going to impact you. That's going to impact your business. It's going to impact your family. So how do you continue to do that? There are a multitude of ways to network in the new normal. Okay, so I'm going to touch on just a few. First thing, if you are an AGC member and you're listening to this podcast right now, I want you to dig deep into your AGC network. It's what you signed up for. It's what you have access to, but are you really developing it? Are you creating it? Is it benefiting you the way that it could? And I think a lot of people went back into the caves. They started hibernating during this time, and you can't afford to do that. You have to insulate, not isolate. Okay. And so create your profile if you don't have one already on AGC. Put up your picture, describe your business, describe what a good referral partner is for you, what a good referral is for you, what kind of business you're seeking, who's the introductions you need to meet. Put those things in there, all your links, and get them active. Start connecting to other members. You have the ability to connect to other members. So do that. Send direct messages. Set up face-to-face meetings. Now, how are you going to do that? There are several ways you can do that. Okay, so let's talk about them. So first of all, face-to-face. Some states, lots of states, including Minnesota, where AGC was born, you are now allowed to meet in 10 people or less. Now, I know that that's not an AGC event when you're used to showing up to 100 people in a room. However, you could, if both parties are comfortable, you're able to meet face-to-face, one person on each side of the table, 6 feet apart, and do a face-to-face meeting. If you're not yet comfortable to do that, I'm going to encourage you to do it on Zoom or GoToMeeting or anything else that's available to you to do a face-to-face meeting. I like seeing people's eyes. I like seeing their smile, their facial expressions. And thank you for technology that we are still able to do that in the new normal. If this had happened 20 years ago, it would have been more difficult to do. I think Zoom has become the preferred method between most business owners, salespeople, entrepreneurs, but there are other ways. There are apps available if you're an iPhone user. You can use FaceTime. If you are an Android user or Apple user, there's an app called House Party that allows you to do face-to-face meetings that tend to be more social. Facebook just launched Messenger Rooms. And you can now create your own room. You can invite people to it, and you can be social in that way. I like Facebook. The reason I like Facebook is because most everyone is already on it. And it's a great place for you to tap into a network and meet more people. And if you're not using Facebook for business, you're missing out. I use it in multiple ways, whether it's building relationships personally or professionally. Facebook is a place where I'm going to find both of those avenues. And speaking of Facebook, if you're an AGC member, we've got the exclusive group. Get involved in that. There's daily networking activities in there. There's exclusive content in there that's just for you. You're able to ask for a referral. You're able to share a link. You're able to make connection requests. You're able to share testimonials. If you're not yet an AGC member, we have a public Facebook group just for you. And there are over 1,300 people in that group in just about 9 weeks' time. It's growing rapidly and it's growing every day. And again, there are daily networking activities there. And we are live broadcasting our AGC talks into both of those networks. So speaking of growth during the pandemic, AGC didn't sit still. We didn't shelter in place. We didn't close up shop. We didn't close business. We kept moving. We adjusted, we adapted, we took action, we pivoted, we shifted, and we went online in a fierce way. We accelerated member benefits online. And when we did that, we put our live broadcasts available to anyone who wanted to watch them. And our audience has grown from anywhere between 75 to 100 people attending. So now we're getting 300, 500 watching in replay, live and in replay. It's crazy. And so we're continuing to build our brand, continue to grow our audience. And I want you to use all of those mediums to connect, including LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all those ways. And when you're communicating with your own customers, when you're communicating with your referral partners, I'm going to say, first of all, face-to-face is always best. So if you're not yet comfortable doing that in person, do it on Zoom or GoToMeeting or one of those ways to do it. Secondly, pick up the phone and call someone. That age-old tool, the one that's been around for a long time, let them hear your voice. And lastly, send an email or send a text. You've got to over-communicate now. It's different than being in person. Networking in the new normal calls for over-communication. You're going to have to reach out more. You're going to have to stay connected to your network, because when you are out of sight, you are out of mind. I don't know how many times that someone has connected to me and I've ended up purchasing their product, purchasing their service, or sending them a referral on the spot because they were in front of me, they were in the present, and they were in the now. And so I encourage you to cultivate your network and do it like you should be doing it in the new normal. It's important to stay in front of your network, to stay in communication. Are you familiar with the 3 laws of communication? If not, don't worry. I'm going to share them with you right now. So the 3 laws of communication look like this. Number 1, the number 1 way for you to communicate with a person is body language. Your body language is the number 1 way for people. They will make up their minds about what you're saying to them based upon your body language. This is why you never see a preacher or politician standing and speaking with their arms crossed. They won't do it. They always speak with their hands either to their side or in an abundant stance, where they're out to their side. Because when you're speaking with closed arms, it says, I don't need your help. I don't want your help. I've got this all on my own. I can do it by myself. When you see them stand in abundance with their hands open, it says, let's do this together. Let's build a team. Let's build a network. I'll help you. You'll help me. Body language is the number 1 way to communicate. This is why in person, this is why video works better than anything else. Number 2 way to communicate. And number 2 best way to communicate is the tone of your voice. It's the tone of your voice. So your tone of voice, people will make up their minds about what you're saying to them based upon your tone of voice. And it's either like you're angry, you're upset, or you're welcoming and you're sincere. People will buy from you or not buy from you based upon your tone of voice. So that's where you can pick up the phone. You can pick up the phone and you can make that warm, quality voice come through that phone. And the last form of communication, and the 3 laws of communication, are the actual words that you're saying. This is why that when you send an email or you send a text and you're smiling, someone on the other end may be upset and be mad. Your intentions were good, but the outcome wasn't good. And I'll sum this up by sharing that I have a friend who's a detective on a police department in Indianapolis. And she shared with me these 3 laws of communication. You see, and I hope this never happens to you, but if you were being interrogated by detectives and you were a suspect in a crime, they're not listening to the words you're saying. They're watching your body language and they're listening to the tone of your voice to decide, are you lying to them? Are you guilty or not guilty of this crime? So it's the same when you're doing networking. The communication laws apply. So I encourage you during this time of networking in the new normal that you be aware of those 3 laws of communication, that you use video and in person every chance that you get, secondary by phone, and last by email and text. But by all means, over communicate in the new normal. And I'll also add this, and that is that, right now is the time to build new content. It is the time to sharpen your skills. Attend everything available to you online. Seminars, workshops, conferences, everything you can soak up and learn from and gain value from right now is the time. So speaking of that, if you go to my website, which is simple, it's travissims.com. All one word, travissims.com. Yes, there's a double S in the center. TravisSims.com, travissims.com. If you go there, you're going to learn more about me as a networking coach. Maybe you only know me through AGC or Accelerated Global Connections or this podcast. But if you go to travissims.com, you're going to learn more about me, the networking coach. Beginning June 1st, the ebook, Networking in the New Normal, is available. It's a 30,000 word ebook. It's going to be available right on my website. You'll be able to download it straight from there. Please go check it out. I'm giving you just a taste of what's available in that book today, Networking in the New Normal. And then lastly, I want to invite you, if you really want to dig deep, if you want to get deeper into your network, if you want to learn how to build relationships, cultivate them, stay in communication with them, get better quality referrals, and close more business as a result, help more people as a result, I want to invite you to our mastermind. If you go to that same website, travissims.com, you can sign up for our mastermind, and there are daily things that we do inside there. I broadcast in there every week. We do a Zoom meeting in there every single week with, there's roughly around 20 people inside that mastermind. It's really, it's unique quality, just great people to get to know. They're all leaders in their industry. You see, when people are attracted to a mastermind, it's because of the other minds that are there. So if you think, hey, I have the qualities to be in that mastermind, we want to invite you. If you're like, I want to raise my network, I want to network up. They say you're the product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Spend time with us every week in our mastermind. We'd love to have you there. With that, I'd like to invite you to stay present. I'd like to invite you to stay connected. I'd like to invite you to continue networking and do it in the new normal. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And thanks for subscribing to this podcast. Thanks for sharing it with others. I hope you got great help, great content, and appreciate you participating in today's podcast.